Hi, you're listening to Listen to Local with Adam Velo. I'm Adam Velo, and in the seat beside me is someone that it's been a year for this artist that started out in farm life in WA and is now living the ultimate Hannah Montana life. And yes, of course, with things like the second EP release, which is Angel of the Apocalypse, a national tour, and a big sound showcase. If by a chance you've had the bad luck, you haven't got to know her by now, this is your chance. So welcome to the show, Darcy. It's a pleasure
Thank
to
you,
have you.
Adam. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, thanks for making the time in your very busy schedule, of course, amongst
Oh,
all
I'm
those
chilling
things.
now after tour. I've got too much time on my hands.
I mean, this is a good opportunity then. But like, yeah,
Yeah,
amongst the last couple of months, have you had the opportunity to stop and reflect about all that yet?
kind of now. Now has
Yeah,
been that time. I got
yeah,
home from tour last week,
yeah,
after Big Sound and like didn't leave my room for like 2 days. I
yeah,
think I just slept and slept. And then yeah, the past week has been really nice. It's been the adjustment to slowing
yeah,
down, but yeah, I'm really trying to make sure I'm, yeah, reflecting and letting everything soak in because it can be really hard in the moment on tour
mm,
and when you're moving around all the time. And I have a tendency to like normalize things immediately and then
yeah.
shift the goalposts. And it's been really nice to come home and recognize how far I've come and how crazy the past few months have been.
Yeah, I mean, you truly deserve the time to rest and reflect. I mean, that tour, I obviously attended the Melbourne show, and that was just unbelievable.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
Yeah, but yes, your EP, which was Angel of the Apocalypse, as mentioned earlier, went all the way to number two in the
I
Australian
know.
artist music charts.
How
Huge.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone could have seen that coming for years, honestly. But like, what song do you feel in the moment you are embracing the most from it currently?
Ooh, I'm embracing Girlfriend is at the
Yeah,
top of my mind just because that was the real like we closed the tour with that song every
yeah,
night and seeing the whole room dance to that song was just the most like electric moment ever.
yeah,
Like that's Girlfriend is probably the song on the EP I listen to the least, to be
yep.
completely honest.
Oh,
But it's the
yeah,
song I have the most fun playing live and
yeah,
seeing
yeah.
happen live. So that's it's become my like most recent favorite just for those memories that are attached to it and seeing everyone's videos posted from the girlfriend mosh, as it's now coined.
Yes.
Seeing, yeah, and like my mum was at all the shows and like every night she took a video and like danced with someone new in the
Yeah.
crowd and like seeing her jump every night to that song was just so sweet and so much fun.
Yeah, the girlfriend Mosh has taken on an identity of its
It,
own. Like,
it really has.
yeah, obviously started with the Sydney Secret Sessions
It did.
session, and then came on to Melbourne and throughout the tour. But yeah, you obviously showcased this EP in those secret sessions. Obviously, not so secret now, but
Yes.
like where you showed it all in its like nitty-gritty details that no one
Mm,
else rips the cover off. How did this
mm.
idea come to fruition? Fruition.
Yes. I well, the Queen herself used to do them. Taylor Swift used to do
Indeed.
secret sessions years and years ago. Like I don't think she's done them since Reputation, I think was the
Exactly.
last album she did it for. And for me, I wanted to take that kind of idea and spin it a little bit. I wanted to do them in a studio that
Mm,
I made the songs in or in a similar studio and actually like go through, yeah, the nitty-gritty of each song, what goes into the production of the song, what goes into the vocal layering, what the voice memo sounded like. I wanted, instead of it being in a home setting like Taylor's were, I wanted it to be, yeah, more focused on the music perhaps and
mm,
the details in it. And that's something that I'm really passionate about. And most of what I am doing in my career and most of the fan engagement kind of stuff that I'm doing is it's come from a place of me thinking of what I would want out of my
mm.
favorite artist when I was younger and what I would want to see them do and what I would want to be included in. And if I had the chance to go into the studio of an artist that I was obsessed with and hear how they made the music and hear what went into it, like that would have been a dream for me. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just doing the things that I would have liked to do. And yeah, they were so much fun. It was really interesting. Me and my producer, Edvard, didn't practice what we were really gonna do. We just knew we were gonna break down each song kind of, and I had picked out a few voice memos. So we really just kind of let the room take us where it took us and see what people were interested in and what they weren't interested in. But yeah, it was so nice to have people that wanted to hear that stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that was just so nice to have everyone be really attentive and want to know what the bass line sounded like or wanted to know what the first version of that lyric was. Like, that's
Yeah.
my dream as a writer, to be able to break that stuff down.
Yeah, or how much time Edvard spent on the ground producing the
Yeah,
guitar
with his
sounds.
guitar. Yes, how
Yeah.
all the guitars were made on the ground.
But no, that was great too. I was lucky enough to attend, and it was an absolute honor to be able to experience that as a fan, basically reflecting what a artist and a fan both link with, and it
Mm,
was so
mm,
special to be in a room with all those passionate fans as well.
mm.
Yeah, so, but were you always said on the songs of the EP that you wrote to that, or were there any chopping and changing that you felt like prior to the release of it?
I always write a lot and I
Yeah,
have to call back and often like when it comes to like choosing tracks for an EP, it's sadly often what's fresh on my mind, what I've written most recently. So what I've found now is some like older songs that I wrote maybe just before Burner Account or before Doomsday that I'm like, oh, that's a great song too. I just kind of forgot about it because a new one came along and I'll always have recency bias, I think.
yeah, yeah,
But what's great is that like I can now use those songs in future projects. And like I'm a big believer in yeah, not recycling songs, but keeping old songs around that will find a new home. There was like maybe two or three songs that like we actually produced kind of that
yeah,
didn't make it just like or didn't make it not just but we just didn't finish actually was
yeah,
what I
yeah,
was meant to say like we just didn't get around to finishing them and these were the best kind of I was kind of also leaning towards choosing more dark songs because I
yeah.
knew that's the kind of theme that I wanted the whole EP to take so like we let go of some maybe like brighter funnier songs that will come back around I think
Yeah, eventually the vault will be open again, and yeah,
of
we'll
course
hear all those, of course. But
yeah
yeah, I love your lyrics reference. Forms of pop
thank
culture
you
with some of the standouts being like Shutter Island, The Wizard of Oz, even the Treaty of Versailles.
yeah
What is
yes
it
yes
about the
yes
imagery of pop culture references when reflecting on your own life that you personally get drawn to?
I think at the heart of it, I'm like a closeted nerd. And I
Don't
really
worry, we all
expose
are here.
myself I expose myself with lyrics like that. Like I love history and I love
Mm,
pop culture and I love metaphors that are really unique and interesting and like that can mean so much more if you understand like the text
mm,
that I'm referencing. Um, like yeah, the Call the Cops, Hear the Sirens, Put Me on Shutter Island
mm.
is a fabulous one
Yeah.
that like I could have said just put me in the asylum
Mm.
because that also rhymes. And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
no, I'm actually instead of saying the asylum, I'm going to reference a movie that is, world famous and renowned for being a mental asylum.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, just I love playing with words and finding, yeah, really interesting and maybe academic ways that I can thread my lyrics together. And the Treaty of Versailles is a really funny one as well. That's on the
mm,
bonus track of Angel of the Apocalypse, a song called It's Been a Year.
yeah,
Um, and yeah, that whole song has heaps of like war and
mm,
treaty kind of references. So I really wanted to get awfully specific and name a treaty,
yeah, yeah.
I
No,
guess.
no, it's so great to have, all these, as you say, like these educated like references that, you can tie like an identity to and build a
Mm,
brand with, and yeah, I mean that's why I always appreciate with your songwriting. It's always such a experience, yeah, to be able to understand all the references that you put into each song. And
Yeah,
yeah,
thank you. Yeah, and I kind of like that like not everyone will get it and
mm,
maybe then you'll watch the movie or learn about something in history or see a book and be like, "Oh, that's a Darcie Haven lyric." And then you
yeah,
understand it 4 years later.
yeah,
That
yeah,
happens to me with songs that I love and
yeah.
know. So like I love that it can yeah, it can take on a life of its own and have different meaning in different, people different people's brains.
No, for sure. But I do have to ask, have you got Grace to watch The Wizard of Oz yet?
That's a great question. No, I haven't. We should have a movie night and I
Yeah.
should make her watch it.
Because in the secret sessions you told us that that was the one thing that we haven't had happen yet amongst.
No, no,
Yeah.
that was yes, in A Good Man. I say your Tin Man on Yellow Brick Road. And I thought that was just surely everybody knows the Wizard of Oz and knows who Tin Man is. And alas, my housemate, best friend, content creator Grace had no idea, and she kept it under wraps for so long. She really did not tell me that she didn't understand that lyric, and it's like the main lyric in the chorus, so it was hilarious.
Yeah, no, it's great the banter you have between the two. It's such a important thing in being able to develop, the fan
Of
relationships with
course.
your fan engagement people in it as well. But are there any lyrics that have surprised you about how you were inspired by them, or on the flip side, ones that you've personally potentially regretted?
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a great question. I really like definitely my earlier songs, like I don't listen back to them very much. Like
yeah,
specifically kind of like I want to be coping in pheromones. Maybe like I want to be in coping more. So like I don't
yeah,
I'm kind of like, oh, those, I would write those songs so differently now,
yeah,
but I have to, what's been amazing about this fan base is that that is a lot of, those two songs in particular are a lot of people's favorite songs because
yeah,
like a lot of my fan base is going through their teenage years at the moment. And so they really relate to those songs and to that kind of language that I was using when I was 16, 17, 18.
yeah,
And while me now in my like early 20s, I'm like, oh, I could have that was a dodgy metaphor or like that sounds a bit shit. They love it because it feels
yeah,
like it's their voice. So
yeah,
I really don't want to like retroactively critique what I've written, but definitely I'm always critiquing what I'm doing and I'm seeing what lands and what doesn't
mm,
land kind of when I'm playing it and when I'm posting it. So yeah, for sure.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just an evolution of the songwriter, and as you continue to evolve as a person in general, like
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can't look back. But yeah, there's and of course you reference on a couple of occasions now your beloved fan base, the Haveners.
Yes, the Haveners.
There's been a huge surge in indie artists with enthusiastic and passionate fan bases, like, of course, yourself, but
Mm.
Holly Hebe, Lyric, Fenton, amongst others. What do you think has happened to have built these relationships that fans champion their artists?
When I was starting out and when I was coming up through the music scene in Perth specifically, I was so frustrated because the only kind of other bands that existed and that had fan bases were like these very male-driven surf
Mm,
rock bands. And there was
that's
an
for sure.
existing kind of like fan base of young people in Perth and Western Australia who like would jump from band to band. And if you were just a long-haired Yahoo with your electric guitar singing something about tequila and you opened for another band, you would just immediately, that fan base would just immediately transfer to you. And there was just an existing pool to tap into,
Mm,
whether you were that good or not, kind of
yeah,
thing. And
yeah,
that
yeah.
didn't exist for pop girls. And that
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
exist for like female artists in Australia, I don't think, until kind of recently.
Mm,
Artists um like Greta Ray
mm,
and that kind of like maybe a little bit like of an old generation, like they have done the legwork in kind of creating that fan base here in Australia. And now younger artists like myself and like those ones that you've mentioned are now being able to use TikTok to kind of tap into it and kind of share fan
mm,
bases. Like I was saying with those like surf rock bands in Perth. Like
yeah,
it's happening in an online space now, which is much more scalable than just like Mojo's in
yeah,
Fremantle, like um it's like there is a really engaged community of like young girls and
mm,
guys and people online that are kind of taking in every small artist that they see, which is so beautiful and so
yeah,
amazing, like to have that much access to music and to local artists. And it's kind of become trendy, I think, which
yeah.
is great. Like there's nothing wrong with that. I
No,
think
no,
what I'm trying to do is like is is build my fan base out myself and not think about anyone else and build my own world
mm,
and not steal from anyone else's and not, but I'm so like honored if people find other artists through me or if they find me through another artist. Like it when the tide rises, all the boats lift,
yeah,
and I think that's what's happening right now, which is so amazing. When for so long, female artists in particular have been so underrepresented in
yeah.
Australia.
Yeah, it's so
Um,
beautiful to see all
yeah,
that. And yeah, especially I looked at the statistics of the hottest 100 of all time Australian, and that was only like 7% for female artists.
crazy.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
horrible.
yeah. And then we compare it with the more modern hottest 100s
Yeah.
and like Australian music in general. I think I saw Laneway statistics was like 60% female.
Women, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
yeah.
think people more than ever are
Mm.
just are loving music made by women. Like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
the charts right now are entirely female dominated,
Mm.
and also solo artists as well are having a moment more than bands, which is so interesting for me. Who grew up, I grew up in a big bands culture over in WA,
Yeah.
so it's really nice that solo artists are having their time to shine, and that yeah, there's this community that's been created by maybe artists like myself and other artists
Mm.
that smaller artists can just tap into by using a hashtag on their
Yeah.
TikTok. And that's how easy it is to
Yeah.
tap into, like that's amazing. And I wish that existed when I started.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I
No,
didn't have
it's
to make 40 million TikToks to find them all. Like
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's just this niche subculture that's popped up and it's fantastic, especially for Australian
yeah.
artists. Like, yeah, Australian artists obviously have had it tough for quite some time in connecting with the fans. But yeah, since these trends and all that, it's really been,
Yeah.
yeah, such a great thing. And I mean, you see results like yeah, Aria number two or breaking the Triple J text line on multiple
Yeah, I know.
occasions.
It's like we're really taking over. And
Yeah,
that's the way it should be. Like,
yeah,
especially like fandoms of teenage girls. They've always
yeah,
been the tastemakers in culture and society. Like
yeah,
they were who first threw themselves behind the Beatles and then
yeah,
One Direction, and that's they then become global superstars. Like I
yeah,
think people can be really dismissive of young fan bases and really
mm,
passionate fan bases, but that's what made Taylor Swift's career, and that's what is
mm,
making my career. That's what got me to, number two on the charts. Not
yeah, yeah,
not Triple J. They didn't get me there.
yeah.
Certainly not my distributor or my management team. Like it was literally you and all of the fans that bought a CD and a vinyl and pre-ordered the EP. Like that's what made it happen. So it's the most powerful tool you can ever have as an artist.
Mm. And we genuinely appreciate people like yourself, of course, being able to, yeah, give us different opportunities, obviously, as well with the vinyls and all that, having the different types of
Yeah.
collective items too. Yeah, it's very, it's a great subculture, and I love being part of it as well. Um,
Thank you. Yeah, that's so
yeah,
nice to hear. I'm really
yeah,
glad. I really am passionate about making sure the community and space that I'm creating is welcoming and safe and
yeah,
fun. But it's been tricky. There's definitely times now where it's a bit because of just the size of it now. It's
mm,
something I have to let go of and trust that everybody will take care of.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, of course, we have the moments where obviously you've had to adapt with adding the RSVPs to the pop-up shows after
Yes.
the amount of people that turned up in
Yes.
Melbourne. But yeah, no, that was
Exactly.
obviously fantastic still. But yeah, of course, throughout the tour that you just completed, you referenced again these original pop-up shows in the originally in the bookstores.
Hmm.
What about these shows that had made you like take a snapshot to compare what you were doing then to what you're doing now?
Well, it was crazy. I worked out that the Melbourne show on tour was like exactly a year post the
Oh yeah,
first bookshop pop-up that I did in Melbourne, which you
wow,
were at.
yeah, yeah.
And I think I don't know, you might be able to have a better guess on how many people were in that bookshop in August 2024, maybe 40,
Probably, yeah,
maybe
yeah, yeah,
max 30,
yeah,
35 to 40, listeners and myself. And
yeah,
then to have, yeah, sold out the Leadbeater in like 24 hours,
yeah,
essentially. And yeah, we could have, you know, done nearly three shows, I think, with how many people sold, signed
yeah,
up for tickets and missed out on tickets to that Melbourne show. So to have that a year later after that tiny bookshop pop-up was, yeah, it's so monumental. And yeah, it just, more than ever, it made me realize that you just have to keep going. Like you
mm,
just have to keep going. Like, and that's what most artists maybe get stuck with or forget. Like I think just if you're onto something and you're really passionate about what you're doing, you literally just have to keep going and it will happen.
yeah,
Like that's 12 months and that's not a long time for that to have like quadrupled in the way that it did. So like yeah, it's just so so nice to see.
yeah. Yeah, I mean that. I mean it's the. I think it was Finding Nemo, wasn't it? That was the just keep swimming, just keep swimming, and I
Yeah,
think
yep,
that's an appropriate
exactly
metaphor
it.
with it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just the fact you've grown so far already, and I mean, by the time next time you come around, you're probably going to be playing at even bigger venues with even more people. It's just fantastic to see. I remember when the bookshop, I got all these messages like, who is this? Who is this person that
Yeah,
from West
it
Australia?
was really the bookshops are really a PR move more than
Yeah,
anything because I
yeah,
knew that it would just look really cool.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'd never seen anybody play in a bookshop and I'd never seen it anywhere. It was literally an idea that I just came up with in the depths of my sleep, I think.
yeah,
And I was like, oh, if I saw a video of someone playing in a bookshop amongst, like, I would stop and I would
yeah,
pay attention, if not more than when I see videos of people in venues. Because I
yeah, yeah,
scroll past a million stories of people playing at the Leadbeater or wherever. So I was like, I want to do something interesting and cool that will
yeah,
make
yeah.
people pay attention. And it did exactly what, I'd set out for it to do. So it was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, yeah. Because I'd seen a lot of like in the bookshop just reveals of vinyls and all that. I was at Greta Ray's release of Positive Spin in that exact same venue, but I'd never seen
Was it?
anyone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was at
No
readings
way. I
and
didn't know that.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, there we go. We've got a you learned something from Listen to Local. No,
Of course.
that was the but I've never seen anyone actually physically play there before. So I was
Yeah.
wondering how these acoustics go and work. But yeah, it's still was such a fantastic experience. You could go through, look at books if you wanted to, and then
Yeah. And it was a way
yeah,
to play. Like, I was also intensely aware that a lot of these fans that were kind of finding my music were under 18 and
yeah,
couldn't come to a venue and just like finding somewhere accessible and safe and like, um, yeah, just that was open to them to
yeah,
come and play. That was really important to me. And it's been really nice to see now that it's kind of it's now become a thing that people do is
yeah,
on their tours they'll play in bookshops as well to under 18s and
yeah, yeah,
that's like crazy for me to see because like I often get messages from artists being like oh like what bookshop did you play in and like what was the email of the person that you set that up with like I want to set up my own and I have all the details because I didn't have really management at that stage and I was
mm.
literally booking it all myself and emailing the poor bookshop owners myself and I'd have to email 10 in each city to kind of find like two that were maybe okay with me bringing, 50 to 100
Yeah,
teenage girls into their store. Um, But yeah, now I think a few of the bookshops have gotten used to it because of other artists doing
Yeah.
it as well, which is really nice.
Yeah. One email from the main account, one email from the burner account, just
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. Get it across the line.
but yeah, you once again go back on the road in December with one show supporting Slowly Slowly, but a second one with Boy and Bear on the forecourt
Hmm.
of the Opera House.
Oh, I
How
know.
excited are you about performing under the sails of, one of Australia's most famous, if not the most famous monument?
Honestly, I haven't had time to like even dream about it yet because
Yeah,
I've been so busy. But now, like thinking about it is so daunting. Like
yeah,
that's crazy. Like
yeah,
I am just this, girl from a farm in the middle of
yeah,
nowhere, and I'm gonna be playing at the opera house. That's
yeah,
crazy. Like I I love the Sydney Harbour Bridge and the Opera House so much.
yeah,
Whenever I'm in Sydney, I like make an effort to walk down there and to walk
yeah,
around there because it's a really nice place for me to be like, oh my God, I'm in
yeah,
Sydney and I'm doing a music career, and it's like a really nice like way for me to be grounded and be like, this
yeah,
is so cool. But for some reason, seeing all that makes me feel those things. So to be on
yeah,
a stage there will be probably even more intense in that
yeah.
the reflection and the
Yeah.
excitement and the like just amazement of how I've got myself there,
Mm.
really.
Yeah. And
I'm
it's
like,
just
how am I on this stage right now? Like,
and it's just a step in until when you're headlining those
yeah,
shows like
I
it's gonna be
know.
yeah.
I know, and it's so exciting because like right now it feels really possible. Like it feels
Yeah.
like, oh, I'll probably play my own show there in a few years.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's probably gonna happen. Like that's
Yeah.
now something that's gonna be part of my career. So I'm yeah, excited to practice.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean of course I encourage all the viewers here if you're in Sydney around those dates, I'd highly encourage. Um
Yes.
but yes, of course you've started to make a few sneaky, slight hints about with some what's next cryptic posts.
Yes, you know
So
me.
of course. So what can you give us about what to expect from whatever the next era may look like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm I'm in writing mode for the
Mm.
next few months. I'm really going to take my time writing the next project and working with new producers and new people and maybe traveling a bit to do
Yeah.
sessions. And what I'm really going to try and make an effort to do over the next few months is to kind of share songs as I'm writing them on social media and post more of me
Yeah.
playing my guitar or my piano and coming up with ideas. Like I um, yeah, there may not be any new music for a while, so I want to make sure that I'm keeping you all along for the journey and hearing your feedback and sharing things in like an organic way. But yeah, I am really excited for what's to come. I don't really know what that is, to be
Mm.
completely honest with you. Like, I don't know what the next stuff is going to sound like because I haven't actually made it yet, which is so exciting.
Yeah.
Feels like the world's my oyster, and I have songs that I've written that I'm really excited about that could go in many kind of directions sonically. So what has been really nice is seeing like the biggest kind of risk I feel that I took on Angel of the Apocalypse was a song called Bad Luck,
Mm.
which is a
Yeah.
much more kind of pop leaning, a little bit edgier, grittier, kind of
Yeah.
dark sound. And that was a song that I was like, oh, I don't know whether anyone's gonna like this. I love this. And like
Yeah.
Edvard, my producer, loves this, but I don't know whether like, the listener's gonna connect with it. And that's actually a song that they've been so obsessed with, like
Yeah.
on tour. That was actually a highlight. Like they
Yeah.
knew that pre-chorus rap like the back
Yeah.
of their hands. And I barely posted that song. So seeing their response to that, seeing their response to me taking a risk and that kind of sound has made me think I might make some more stuff like that. Or
Yeah.
just trust my instincts, because clearly you guys don't mind when I go off on a whim.
Yeah, well, I'm excited for whatever comes, and yeah, obviously, such a bad luck, such a yes, such an anthem. It's such a
Thank
yeah, ex
you.
exciting
Mm,
energy to bring with the semi-rap um,
Yeah.
D Swizzle kind of
Yeah, Darcy's
yeah.
version of rap.
No, so yeah, I'm sure we'll all get around it when we eventually get it. But
Yeah.
yeah, at this point in the show, I normally ask for local listens, but you've already have with Ash McGregor picking "Drive" by Greta Ray at the time.
Of
So
course.
instead, I'm interested in hearing how did you meet Greta and the relationship you formed since then?
We met just by coincidence in a studio in Melbourne, like once or
Yeah,
twice. We just like crossed paths. We were working out of the same building. And then when I was in Sydney doing the secret session,
yeah,
um, we held that at Sony Publishing, which is her publisher. And so
yeah.
she was in the studio on just
Ah, yeah,
happened to be on that day. So
yeah,
we
yeah,
ended up having a big chat while everyone was setting up. And then
yeah,
she popped her head in at the end of the secret sessions. And I kind of caught her and was like, would you like to have lunch with me? Like I'm here
yeah,
tomorrow. And she was like, oh, I'd love that. So then yeah, we went and had lunch and it was beautiful.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's kind of how that relationship started. I feel like that's a lot of that's the way that you meet other artists is just,
Mm.
proximity and luck. And yeah, I feel really lucky to have her number and ask her if
Yeah,
I ever have a question and like pick her brain. It's yeah.
yeah, yeah. You've got to have your, supportive musical girlfriends and all that, of course. Yeah,
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 exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And but like, yeah, for anyone that hasn't happened to um, take a deep dive in your music and may be interested in doing this now, by the doomsday scenarios that they may not. Where should people go to see all your work?
I think listening to the new EP, Angel of the Apocalypse, I think listening to that kind of front to back would be a great place to start. I was really careful with the track list order. It kind of in my mind plays through really nicely and it kind of takes you on a journey. So
Mm,
yeah, that's on Spotify and Apple Music and all of the different things. So maybe
yeah,
start there and then you can go backwards and listen to my first EP, which, is a much kind of softer, maybe slightly brighter, younger version of me as well.
yeah. I mean, if I was suggesting, I'd definitely say to go be a good man and hound Darcy socials.
Oh, you've got all of the good references.
Add music with all your banner accounts.
Yes. Oh my God,
Yeah.
he's got one more in there. And hopefully it won't be a year until we speak again.
Hey. I genuinely appreciate the time you spent with me today. Yeah, you're one of Australia's most promising artists in the
Thank
country,
you.
and yeah,
Thank
I hope
you.
to see you succeed even more than you are in the future, and I'll be around for the journey. So yeah, once
Thank
again, thank you,
you.
and
No, thank you so much, Adam. It's been such a joy to talk to someone who knows my music so well and knows me so well. So this has been the best.